Y Eau de Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent. Easily one of the top selling men's blue fragrances of the past 10 years. This one here is just all around likable, mass appealing, and a great performer. This one here, it might not be the most extravagant and complicated fragrance ever, but it gets the job done. However, this one is not very cheap, even at discounters, if you could even find it at discounters. So that's why I'm introducing you all tonight to Sheikh Al Shuyukh Final Edition by Lattafa. This one here is extremely similar in terms of smell to YSL Y EDP and another one from the YSL Y line. So guys, if you want to smell like Y without paying anywhere near the same price, stick around, this video is for you. Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Scent Review. One of my favorite blue scents of all time, as generic as it may be, is YEDP from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It just smells so good. There's nothing complicated about it. It's not even all that natural smelling. It just smells really, really good. I love it. A lot of other people love it. And it just has really good performance off my skin, especially in the hotter weather. So naturally, I did some digging trying to find a good quality alternative for a much lower price, because as you can see here, my bottle of Y EDP is running out pretty quickly. I want to conserve it as long as I can. So in my search, I came across this one, Sheikh Al Shuyukh Final Edition from the house of Lattafa. I had heard good things about it. I had heard especially that it was kind of like a Y EDP with a little bit of the sweetness removed and the woody notes turned up, which I thought just sounded swell. So I picked a bottle of this up and I paid about 20 euros for it. This was about 8 months ago now, maybe 7 months, whatever. I've had this for a while and I've been waiting for a perfect opportunity to review it. And I think I found that opportunity now, and I'm going to explain why in this video. Why, no pun intended. Anyway, let's get started with the presentation here. As usual, typical Lattafa fashion, it's an extravagant box. It's pretty flimsy, honestly. It's made of paper, but on the outside, it looks cool. It has this outer sleeve that slides off. It has Arabic writing as well as English cursive on the side, Sheikh Al Shuyukh, Lattafa symbol. And right here on the front, it looks as though there's a gentleman silhouette. More than a silhouette, you can actually kind of see his face there. Looks like a gentleman wearing a headdress, and I'm not sure who that is. Maybe it's the perfumer, maybe it's the owner of Lattafa, not sure. The bottle is black, it's glass, very, very heavy glass. And as you can see here, it has Sheikh Shuyukh written on the front in English cursive, Final Edition, Eau de Parfum, ta-da. I'm very impressed with the bottle itself. It's extremely heavy, good quality. The cap itself is kind of flimsy, silver square. It has what looks to be a black onyx, maybe black opal on the top here, this gem it's supposed to look like. However, it's made of plastic. The cap itself, very light, not very good quality. It's gonna spray out of the way. Good atomizer, if a little wispy. It's got decent projection and decently pressurized. Not great, not bad, it's good. Anyway, so very nice here off the top. Let's get into the official note breakdown. So in the top, we're given lemon, lemongrass, sage, and lavender. In the mid, we're given cardamom, leather, mimosa, rosemary. And in the dry down, we're given cedar, amber, oak moss, and vanilla. So right off the bat, I will say that that official note breakdown is way more complicated than what you actually get. What you actually get is fairly straightforward. So in the beginning, lemongrass and lavender. In the mid, some sage, cedar, and ambroxan. And in the dry down, we get some musk, tonka bean, and cedar. So starting off here in the top, lemongrass and lavender. So lemongrass is the way it sounds. It's a kind of a sweet lemon grassy note, has a little bit of a kind of spiciness to it, more of a zinginess than a spice. So it's a grassy type of sweet lemon, and we get some lavender as well. Lavender giving it a nice aromatic touch. Very nice in the opening here. And in the mid, sage, cedar, and ambroxan. So the sage is being pulled directly from YSL's Y EDP. The sage in that one is very prominent, at least to my nose, and it's even more prominent in this one. Sage gives it kind of a woody, ever so slightly spiciness. I really, really like it. We also get some light, slightly fresh, woody cedar and some ambroxan to make it sort of blue smelling, typical blue, ever so slightly oceanic. Now this does not have anywhere near as much ambroxan as YEDP, but it's still there a little bit in the mid. And drying down in this one, we get musk, tonka bean, and more cedar. So the fresh, slightly woody cedar maintains itself all the way to the bottom, and we get some tonka bean, which is kind of like vanilla with the sweetness removed, added some nuttiness to it, and a little bit of wood as well. That's kind of what tonka bean smells like to my nose, and I definitely get that in the bottom here. Definitely mixed with some musk as well. So there's a musky accord, very soft musky accord, very nice in the dry down, but it doesn't go into soapy territory. So if you're not a fan of soapy fragrances, don't worry, because this doesn't quite go there. Anyway, so given the official note breakdown and my note breakdown, you might not immediately think that it smells a lot like YSL EDP. However, I will say they do smell very, very similar. The differences are that I think Sheikh Shuyukh leans a little bit more green as opposed to blue. There's not nearly as many blue notes in this as there are in YSL's EDP. For example, a main fixture of this is the ambroxan, also some apple and ginger in the top. So this starts off zingy and blue. This does not. This starts off more green and aromatic, which gives it an ever so slightly more grown up, slightly refined touch to it. So all in all, I think this kind of leans, like I said, a little bit more green as opposed to YSL EDP. Also, the cedar is turned up in this, the sage is turned up in this, and there's a musky note that doesn't really appear to me in YSL EDP. And also, I definitely get very prominent lavender in this, which of course is also lacking from YSL EDP. So when I got this, I really liked it, and I noticed the resemblance to YSL's EDP, and I just kind of thought to myself, yes, it smells very similar, but there's something different about it. What is it? The sage note is definitely turned up, slightly more spicy. There's definitely that added lavender in this, and of course the woody notes are turned up as well. The sweetness that's present from the ambroxan in YSL EDP is toned way down in this, and also this has no apple, no ginger, there's no spicy fruit note in the beginning of this at all. So I thought to myself, okay, smells very good, because it does. It's just, I wouldn't say it's one-to-one with EDP. Until several months later, we get YSL EDP Intense, which was released. And I went and I sampled some of that at a local store, and it clicked in my mind. This smells to me almost identical to EDP Intense. In fact, I think it smells more like that than it does this. So EDP Intense, I actually don't own a bottle, but I know exactly how it smells. It's very similar to the regular EDP, but it has the sweetness turned down, woody notes turned up, and it's slightly more aromatic. That's pretty much, to put it very simply, exactly how EDP Intense smells. So I think if you're looking for a great alternative to both EDP and EDP Intense, this is going to be an awesome bet for you guys. However, a main difference would be that the EDP Intense definitely has a patchouli note that this one does not have. So there are differences. It is not a one-to-one clone of either EDP or EDP Intense, but it comes damn close to both, especially the EDP Intense. So one caveat I will mention is the performance on this one is not good. As far as projection goes, I get maybe an hour of elbows length projection, and total longevity on my skin does not go past 4 hours. So a little bit disappointing in the performance department, which is a shame because the actual scent profile, the DNA of this smells very good. I just wish it was a little bit stronger. However, this one here, 100 milliliter bottle, can be found on Fragrance Buy for $24 US, which is 4.6 times cheaper than EDP 100 milliliters for $110 US on the same website. Now let's crunch some more numbers here. I just mentioned I get about an hour projection and 4 hours longevity with this one. Well, with EDP, I get 2 hours of solid projection and I get 8 hours of longevity. So if I wanted to get the same performance from this that I do from this, I would have to apply twice the amount that I would for this. So really it's a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of application amount. So let's take the price into consideration again. I could buy one bottle of this for $110 US, and it would last me the same as 2 bottles of this. So in order to get the same amount of performance, I would have to spend $48 to get 2 bottles of this. That would last me the same as 1 bottle of this, remember, at $110 US. So even if I bought 2 bottles of this, it would still amount to being 2.3 times cheaper than this. So even if I bought 2 bottles of this, which would equal 1 bottle of this in terms of performance, this is still considerably cheaper. Hell, you could even buy 4 bottles of this for less than the price of 1 of these bottles. So anyway, I'll stop with the math lecture now. This one here is just, it's a really solid buy. But like I said, if you want to get noticeably good performance, you're going to have to overspray. But like I just explained, that might not really be much of a problem. You can pick up a couple of bottles of this and it's gonna be worth your while. It gets a lot of positive attention. Literally everybody I've met while wearing this really enjoys it. And I know that compliments don't matter to everybody. Some people like being complimented on their smell or the way they dress or whatever. I know it makes you feel good. So I promise this will garner you positive attention. And all in all, just a really good scent. I highly recommend it. You know where to find it. It's quite easy to find. I'll leave some links below so you can check it out for yourselves. And at the end of the day, I think it's a really solid buy. I won't stop recommending it. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Anyway, guys, that's been my review of Lattafa's Sheikh Al Shuyukh Final Edition. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, keep it real.